All right, we're going to continue with Chapter 7 review. These are going to cover questions 11 through 17. For number 11, it says complete using always, sometimes, or never. For number 11, a rhombus is never a trapezoid. The reason is because a rhombus is a parallelogram and has to have two pairs of parallel sides. A trapezoid has one pair of parallel sides. Number 2, a square is always going to be a parallelogram. The reason is because a parallelogram needs two pairs of parallel sides, and a square is exactly that. You have pairs of parallel sides on top and bottom, and left and right. Number 13 says draw a parallelogram with a 60-degree angle and a 120-degree angle. Remember, a parallelogram, the angles that are the same have to be across from one another. Again, you start by drawing the largest angle. So I do a dot and a line, and then I use my protractor to line up dot to dot, line to line. 120 degrees will be all the way over here. When I move my protractor out the way, I need to connect dot to dot, line to line. And write 120. You don't have to rotate the paper right now. Instead, you can actually make the new dot over here and draw the 60-degree angle. 60 degrees is going to be right here. So that when you connect, both of those lines should be going in the same direction. Okay, you do need to rotate your paper one more time. It's going to look kind of funny just because you can't see me rotating my tablet. But essentially, your new dot is becoming this one up in the corner. So dot to dot. Notice how my line's not connected just yet, so I got to rotate it so that it's on the line. And then I'm looking for another 60-degree angle, because remember, 60 has to be across from one another. 60 is right here. So when I connect the vertex with the tick mark, it'll connect all the way through, and I just label 60 and 120. Just make sure that your parallelogram looks like this. 120s are across from one another and 60s are across from one another. And remember, again, you can always erase and go back and erase these little overlap lines. Number 14 says find the missing dimension. Use a scale factor of 1 to 12. Remember, these are when you actually draw your proportions. So I have 1 to 12 is equal to 10 over x. Cross multiply, I get 1x is equal to 12 times 10, which is 120. Divide both sides by 1, x is equal to 120. Number 15, same type of thing. 1 over 12 is equal to x over 30. Cross multiply, I get 30 is equal to 12x. Divide both sides by 12. X will be equal to 2.5. That one was a decimal because 12 cannot go into 30 evenly. Number 16 says the scale in a drawing is 0.5 millimeters over 4 centimeters. The height of the drawing is 4.5 millimeters. What is the actual height of the object? We don't know the actual height, which is in centimeters, so x will have to go on the bottom here. Here we go. Cross multiplying, I get 0.5. X is equal to 4 times 4.5. 4 times 4.5 is 18. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 0.5. X should be equal to, here's 18.5. I can't have a decimal on the outside, so I got to scoot it over once on the outside, which means also once on the inside, which now it really turns into 180 divided by 5. 5 will go in 18 3 times, with 3 left over, and 5 will go into 36 times. So x is equal to 36 for number 16. 17, a scale drawing of a painting is 12 inches long and 8 inches tall, and the actual painting is 2 feet tall. Notice how it doesn't give us how many feet long it is. Okay, so that's a question mark for now. Remember, scale factor is the model over the actual and put into both the same units. I do have both tall measurements, so that's what I'm going to put together. 8 inches tall over 2 feet tall. They need to be in the same units, so I'm going to change them both to inches. 8 inches is already there. 2 feet is not. I remember that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So 2 feet is going to be 24 inches. 8 over 24 can be reduced to 1/3. Now, letter B says find the perimeter and area of the painting in the scale drawing. So that means we're going to be using 12 inches long and 8 inches tall. Remember, perimeter is just adding all the sides. So 12 plus 12 plus 8 plus 8. I know 12 plus 12 is 24. 8 plus 8 is 16. I add 24 and 16 together. I will get 40. So 40 inches for letter B. I also need to find the area. Remember, area is length times width. So 12 times 8 gives me 96 inches squared. Our letter C is a little bit different because what has happened is they have given us the drawing 12 inches long and 8 inches tall. And the only thing that they've given us about the actual one is that it is 2 feet tall. So what we need to figure out is how many feet long it is. Notice how 8 inches tall will be proportional to 2 feet tall. And again, we've already decided that 2 feet is equal to 24 inches. So here's where you kind of use some proportional concepts. 24 inches, we know that 8 can change to be 24 inches by multiplying by 3. So all we're essentially doing here is multiplying by 3 on both of these. So like I was saying, we know that 2 feet is equal to 24 inches, and so we're just looking, how does the 8 change to 24 inches? Well, 8 changes to 24 inches by multiplying by 3, so that means for the length, we will also multiply by 3. That's going to give us 36 inches, which in feet terms will be 3 feet. So now we know that both of the dimensions of the actual painting are 2 feet by 3 feet. That makes it easier to find the perimeter and area. Remember, perimeter is adding both the sides. So 2 feet plus 2 feet plus 3 feet plus 3 feet. That's 4 plus 6, which is equal to 10 feet in perimeter. Area is just multiplying length times width. So 2 times 3, that gives us 6 feet squared. You can also give those measurements in inches. That would technically still be considered correct. So if you did that, you would have 24 plus 24 plus 36 plus 36 in inches. That's going to be 120 inches for perimeter. And then for your area, if you did 24 times 36, that gives you 864 inches squared for area. Okay, this is going to conclude our video on chapter 17. So just make sure that you are chapter 7, that you just review both parts 1 and 2 so that you will be prepared for your test. Thanks for tuning in.